Now, every Friday, we blow off a little steam. You know what we do? It's a tradition around here. Has been since our very first week on the show. Thanks to our friends at Local Environmental. These are real emails received to talk at ryanjesperson.com. We call it Trash Talk. All right, this one from Jordan with a Y. Jordan with a Y says, my neighbor down the street is an absolute gem. Like the best kind of person, the type that waves and smiles, offers to bring in your mail when you'll be out of town, and invites you to their annual backyard barbecue where they serve their homemade and incredible Nanaimo bars. But they also keep their front and backyard looking good by running their mower, trimmer, and blower, though lithium-powered. I'll give them credit for that, at 7 a.m. Like 7 a.m., like clockwork, sometimes on weekday mornings, weekend mornings, whenever. That's when their day starts. Johnny's going, no. That's when their day starts, with a smile, albeit, but that doesn't work for me. Now, not at all, but I do still force a smile when I see them. Sometimes just a few hours after the mowing, because really it's not the end of the world, though it does interfere with my sleep, which kind of is my whole world. So I guess I'm just here to blow off a little steam, like Jespo says, and maybe I'm hoping that my sweet, amazing neighbor hears this and wonders if it's them that I'm talking about, and suspects that it is them that we're talking about, and maybe knocks their yard work into the 10 a.m. time slot. Have a great weekend, Real Talkers. Here's to sleeping in past 7. That from Jordan with a Y. What's an appropriate time for you? Would you say? What's the earliest you would mow lawn, run a trimmer, run a blower? 10?
11.
11. I like
Some
it.
people
I like it.
work
This is
till
our
like 2
opportunity
a.m.
for a public service announcement here. All right. And then this one from KS. All right, kids, earmuffs, because I'm going to read this thing verbatim. All right? Earmuffs. As a matter of fact, kids, you should not be watching this. KS says, Ryan, I am so fucking angry. I almost can't stand it. If I'm brutally honest, I'm too sleepy right now to be that angry. Maybe I should have a nap first. But speaking of sleepy, this is like a sleep-deprived trash talk, isn't it? We didn't plan it that way. I'm sleepy because I have COVID, says KS, which sucks, obviously. We wish you a quick recovery. I'm vaccinated. I did all the right things. I masked. I stayed home. I was careful. Now I have COVID because of one dipshit, and I feel like hell, and I'm pissed about it. These fucking viruses have been taking full advantage of our social nature for millions of years, which is basic fucking science, and still people can't be fucking bothered to do the bare fucking minimum and stay home when they're sick. And before anybody blathers on the internet about people needing to get paid, we can work from home as needed. There's no excuse at my workplace. It took one dipshit, says KS. One. The dipshit who came into work symptomatic 2 days in a row without telling anybody, and then arrived at the office the third day in a mask, coughing up a storm, sanitizing their hands every time another human entered their line of sight, like that little performance was going to do any fucking good. Then they took a full half hour to empty their office so they could go work from home. What a hero. During business hours, the office was full. Like they couldn't have come outside business hours to do that. This shit makes me crazy, says KS. These self-important pricks who think the world would stop turning if they weren't at the office, they'll happily put everybody around them at risk to service their own tiny man egos, and then have this unmitigated gall to make excuses about how their high-risk coworker, me, couldn't have possibly gotten COVID from them. I didn't spend years in university to be told by some dumb fuck who can barely read the manual for the TV remote about how viruses work. This is not complicated, says KS. Think about somebody other than yourself for once. Even if you're a little bit sick, stay the fuck home. Now I'm going to go find a couple ibuprofen and go back to bed. Fucking hell. That from KS. I hope that made you feel better.
That was a great one.
That might be the most profanity-laden trash talk email we've ever received.
Love it.
You can send us your trash talks to talk at ryanjesperson.com, and don't forget it's presented by Local Environmental at localenvironmental.ca. Coming up on Monday's show, we talked about BC seeking that approval, that temporary suspension of federal drug laws from Ottawa so they can decriminalize small amounts of so-called hard drugs. They got it. They're doing it. Stephen Harper's former advisor, Ben Perrin's going to join us on Monday. He might take a different direction than what you think. He's had kind of an epiphany, maybe a bit of an awakening. I'll ask him how he'd characterize it. He says that the Pierre Poilievre strategy on this is way off base. That from the advisor to a former conservative PM. We'll find out why. That's all part of Monday's show. In the meantime, make it a great weekend, friends, and we'll talk to you soon.